Welcome to Traveling Adventures, your quest for love. This show is for singles searching for the perfect lifelong partner. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let us go ahead and begin, shall we? Alright, so the next country on our list is France. Who better than to confide than the country that has always spoken the language of love, whether it be from Paris, all the way down to Nice. You know, France has always been a very highly passionate country, so with that said, it's pretty common sense. It should be, it better be, in case you miraculously haven't heard already. Let's go ahead and take a look to see if maybe a French person might be the perfect match for you. Those of you struggling to find the perfect partner out there. Just in case you're new to the show, we're going to go over the good men and women of France and see if they might be a good fit for you. Now keep in mind that these are the ideal traits that you should look for in a French person. We're going to go ahead and we're going to cover the toxic ones later, but first things first. Let's go over the French women. What makes them so passionate and attractive as an ideal candidate for a lifelong partner? Her confidence is her main attraction. She does not seek validation. Hey, that's a big one. She knows her worth and expects you to rise to it. Wow. What a royal entrance. This is like the Queen of France entering. What a grand, right underneath the Arc de Triomphe. We're already off to a fantastic, majestic start, aren't we? She finds beauty in daily rituals. I like the language here. A perfectly set table or a slow morning coffee with you is a priority, not an afterthought. Wow. So you are her priority. How about that? She merges intellect and sensuality completely. A deep conversation is foreplay. Haven't seen that word at all in this series. Mental connection directly fuels physical passion. Absolutely. It can't just be physical. It's got to be mental and emotional. That's what passion really is. Sex is treated as a natural, essential art form. Indeed, it is an art. It is for mutual pleasure, open conversation, and deepening intimacy, not just release. That's a main killer for so many relationships out there. They see sex as just something physical. They're like, yeah, sex is not important. Then you're not in love, buddy. That's not love. This is love. My goodness, deepening intimacy. Yes, that's why they call it making love. Anybody who cringes at the words making love is immature and not worth anybody's time. She communicates desire with subtlety, and a certain look, a deliberate touch, or choosing to stay in speaks volumes more than words. All right. Her style is an extension of her intellect, understated, powerful, and designed to intrigue, not to scream for attention. Okay, so the key word here is subtle. When committed, she is fiercely loyal and views a partnership as a sacred, private team against the world. Exactly. That's the way you should see a serious, loving, committed relationship. It's a team. None of this petty, foolish arguing. It's why are you arguing? Is that how you win anything in life? By arguing? You're going backwards, not forwards, okay? And it is you guys against the world. She will curate you. Expect her to introduce you to new authors, artists, and tastes, seeing your growth as part of the relationship. Absolutely. Wow. This is a really nice... the women are always the most powerful introduction in this series. Yes, growth. You guys have to grow together. That's why people who say, you're not going to change me, I don't want to change. Well, then you're not ready for a relationship. It's all about change, because that's what growth is. A little tiny plant doesn't grow into a huge tree, right? And if with an attitude that says, well, I'm not going to change, that's ridiculous, right? You got to grow together as one. She maintains a deliberate, alluring separation between her public politeness and her intense private world, which is for you alone. I love the sound of that. Once those doors close in that bedroom, it's time to get to business. Tiger and Tigress. She believes in building a great love, a unique and cultivated story that is a life's work, not just a pleasant companionship. Absolutely. This is very rare to see in this show, in this series, because, it reminds me of the artistry of France, their artwork. It speaks volumes. There's too much to even talk about. But yes, I'm glad that they see love as an art form too, because it really is. Very powerful start for the French women. Let's go ahead and shift gears to the French men, shall we? Let's see, are they as passionate as the French women? He is a professional at making a woman feel uniquely seen. His flirtation is focused, intellectual, and deeply attentive. Okay, very nice. His passion has a specific focus, be it food, film, or philosophy. This capacity for deep interest translates into how he loves. Absolutely. Okay, kind of a strong start. He desires a true equal, a woman who can match him in a heated debate and then match his passion in the bedroom. Okay, forget about the debates. Stick to that passion in the bedroom. His romance is practical and sensory. He shows love by finding the perfect cheese for your mood or the ideal wine for the sunset. I mean, what can I say? Cheese and wine. Come on, people, it's France. Okay. And the sunset, absolutely. It just speaks for itself, okay? Nothing to elaborate there. He cares. My goodness. So many people are like, I don't know. What do you want? Just so boring and mediocre, right? He has a deep cultural respect for a woman's intellect and style. He finds a woman's taste and opinions genuinely sexy. Absolutely. I love that. When your man is in your mind, right? For you women out there, that's a central part of demonstrating his love for you. He cares about what you think and how you feel. He goes into the details. He goes shopping with you. He gives his opinion on everything. He's not one of those toxic, masculine males, toxic masculinity who says, I don't know, you look fine. Okay, I'll just wait here. You go shopping. Like, wow, so boring. It's like, where's the real companionship, right? It's amazing how mediocre this world has become. Seriously. I mean, look at that. A woman's taste and opinions genuinely sexy. It really is. When you guys connect with each other 100%, everything your partner thinks and feels is your business. That's what you wake up for every day. It's excitement. You can't ever lose that. He subscribes to the slow seduction. The chase and the gradual, deliberate build-up are seen as essential pleasures. Yes. Lots of passion here. He is self-sufficient in the home. He can cook a proper meal and enjoys creating a beautiful atmosphere. He is a partner, not a child. Yes. None of this, well, the gender role is the woman cooks. Well, what about you, hotshot? I mean, it's not just a responsibility. It's a way of demonstrating, once again, your love for your partner. Cooking is just one of many things you can do for each other. It's another art form. It's not just a kitchen. The culinary arts. His loyalty, once given, is steadfast and protective. He will defend you in your relationship with quiet, firm resolve. Yes, that's that bodyguard mentality. His masculinity is secure and expressed through cultivation, not aggression. He takes pride in his knowledge and taste. Yes, you want somebody who's in control, not out of control. He views the relationship as the ultimate collaborative project of beauty and meaning, worthy of constant joint effort. Yes, there's that teamwork. Okay, so brilliant beginning for the French men and women. I love it. One of the best introductions to, what can I say? Like I said before, this is one of the most powerful, passionate countries in the world. So with that said, we do have to, fortunately and unfortunately, especially if you're new to the show, shift over to the bad men and women of France. Yes, I know it's sad, but there's toxic people everywhere. So with that said, ice cold disclaimer: the following does not apply to all men and women of France. So beware. You've been warned. The French are not all toxic, but there could be lots of toxic French people. Let's go ahead and dive deep into the toxic traits, the things you should avoid if you're considering a French partner or going to France to try to find a French partner. Okay, beginning with the women, as always. Her high standards can feel like a cold, constant judgment on everything from your career to your choice of bread. That is kind of funny, your choice of bread, really? Well, you know, we're talking about the toxic side, so it's always extreme, okay? She can deliver brutal, unsolicited critiques about your appearance or ideas, calling it honesty to mask its cruelty. Yes, I actually hate this, especially with a woman. You can be honest, but by golly, can you please be careful with your partner's emotions? You can't just sit behind saying, well, I'm just being honest. No, you're being rude. And I like this word here, cruel, because it is cruel. And just because you think you can handle it, as I mentioned before in other shows, that it doesn't matter. What does your partner accept as respectful behavior? So you can be honest, but you better be gentle. You better have tact the way you explain your opinions or your thoughts. There's a thick line between honesty and being rude. One is mature, one is immature. Know the difference. There is a specific, frustrating risk of emotional cheating. She may cultivate deep, intense intellectual friendships with other men that blur lines, claiming purity while creating rivalry. Okay, so emotional cheating is having conversations that teeter on the line of, hey, that's not a basic acquaintanceship, you know, that's just a basic acquaintance. That's just more of a, you guys shouldn't be talking about that type of stuff, you know. Going over the line. Emotional cheating is flirting with disaster. It really is. Her mystery can be a deliberate wall. She may withhold emotional needs as a test, punishing you for not intuitively understanding her. Okay, yeah, so we're in the arena of reading her mind, right? So nobody is capable of reading somebody else's mind. So that is definitely a toxic trait for sure. All right, her loyalty lies first with her childhood circle and family. You will always be somewhat secondary to these lifelong bonds. Okay. This is rather quite common with people with families who are somewhat toxic. They get in the way of the relationship. Absolutely should be avoided. Her cultural snobbery is real. She may dismiss your enjoyment of popular things as proof of a simple or inferior mind. Okay, so that's insulting behavior, okay? Obviously. In conflict, she uses strategic withdrawal. The silent treatment is a preferred weapon, creating a punishing, icy atmosphere. Yeah, so the silent treatment is a form of abuse, okay? Many people think it's okay. No, it's not. You guys need to talk to each other. If you guys have to cool off, go cool off. But let your partner know we'll discuss this later, okay? And don't be shifting gears into the immature territory with silent treatment. That just says everything about you. You know, how immature you are. You have to be mature. You have to face your fears if you want to conquer them. And you guys got to be a team. So you guys are going to have ups and downs, most likely. So when it comes to the downs, you guys have to navigate through them. Now, if it's abusive, absolutely. Give the silent treatment and go seek help. But if it's not abusive, you have to talk with each other. You guys got to figure it out. You know? So with that said, the fantasy of the great love can make her perpetually dissatisfied with normal, healthy relationship challenges. Well, that's not a fantasy. I can see why this could be considered toxic, you know, if you don't put forth the effort to create that great love. But perpetual dissatisfaction, that's something you both have to work on. Kind of disagree here. Both of you guys should seek a great, perfect love together because it does exist. Because it represents how strong your guys' love is. If you guys don't believe perfection exists, then you guys are going to fail. It's just that simple. Perfection does exist. She often views sex not just as connection, but as a metric of the relationship's health. Well, it kind of is. Withdrawing it as a calibrated punishment for unrelated displeasure. Well, yeah, okay, so that's teetering, that's crossing the line there. Okay, sex is a strong connect. It has to be a strong connection, and it is a metric of the relationship's health. But withdrawing it as punishment, well, that's immature behavior. Okay, I mean, it doesn't mean you're forced to have sex. It just means that something's terribly wrong that has to be addressed. As I said before, you got to speak up. Her deep-seated cultural belief in her own superior taste means she will redo your efforts, from cooking to decorating, to meet her unspoken standard. Okay, so that goes hand in hand with that perpetual dissatisfaction from number 8. Yeah, okay, that's pretty toxic. That's an attitude problem. That has to be worked out. Let's go ahead and shift gears to the toxic French men. All right, so a culture sense of male entitlement can lurk beneath the charm. He may believe his perspective is inherently more logical or valid than yours. All right, that's kind of lukewarm. I mean, perspective, it depends what we're talking about here. There is a pervasive cultural tolerance for the lightning bolt affair. He may rationalize cheating as an irresistible passion story, not a betrayal. Well, but it is a betrayal. Lightning bolt. No, any type of cheating is cheating. There's no excuse for that. No. His tight male friendship circle is non-negotiable. Okay, we've seen this before with other cultures. His weekly time with his male friends is sacred. Well, that's ridiculous. Often a space for complaining about relationships, and you are not invited. And I wonder why. So what, you're going to complain about your relationship issues? Well, hey, if you want to be a tough guy, why don't you solve it yourself? Sure, you can ask your friends and family for their opinions and their advice, but in the end, you got to man up. And your woman has to woman up. Both of you got to step up. You can't depend on friends and families to fix all of your problems. You guys got to face it together. Like we started with this show, face the world together. He can be a closet traditionalist. He'll praise equality, but still expect you to manage the domestic mental load and social calendar seamlessly. All right, well, that's just a lack of responsibility. His pride makes him allergic to being wrong. He will argue in circles, using superior rhetoric to win rather than to understand. Well, I mean, if you're right, you're right. But if you're wrong, just admit you're wrong. I mean, there's no need for an ego trip here. It's sometimes, even if you're right, why make a bad situation worse unless it's something worth dying on that hill for? It depends. But for the most part, stop arguing. It's just ridiculous. It's a relationship killer. It really is. The romantic pursuit often ends at commitment. The man who played elaborate dates can become passively comfortable, expecting domestic and sexual routine. Well, that's called mediocrity. Yes, a couple can fall into a mediocre, sex life, domestic life in general, and that's why they want excessive vacations, yada yada. You contend there's plenty of solutions for that. It's not the end of the world, really. He may practice aesthetic cheating openly and constantly admiring other women in front of you as a display of his refined taste, dismissing your discomfort. Well, that can be very disrespectful. Unless you guys are admiring, sexy bodies out there, both men and women. I mean, there's couples who do that, like, hey, wow, she's pretty attractive. Hey, he's pretty attractive. Doesn't mean you guys are, homosexuals or anything, and it doesn't mean that you guys are being rude to each other. It's okay to admire others, but, it says here, constantly admiring other women in front of you, then, yeah, now it's a problem. It's not you're both of you admiring a pretty body before you, some type of basic admiration logically. If it's chronic, if it's acutely to make your partner feel less than the best constantly, then now it's a problem, okay? He uses intellectual cynicism to avoid vulnerability. Mocking sentimentality is his shield against ever having to express raw, needy emotion. Oh, but you need to express that raw emotion. No, 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 no. The cynicism, avoiding vulnerability. There's nothing really vulnerable. It's just being honest and open. Yes, you can call it vulnerability. I understand what people mean when they use this word, but I mean, mocking sentimentality. A relationship is everything to do with sentimentality. It's pure emotion. So that's just immature behavior. I don't know what he's fearing here. He is often more in love with the poetic idea of a perfect life than the work to build it. He is a visionary without execution. Well, that's interesting because that falls in tandem with the toxic French woman over here, where she expects, perfection. You guys can't achieve perfection. There's nothing poetic about it. A perfect life is a life where both of you are equally satisfied and happy together as one. You can achieve it. It just takes two to tango. I mean, I don't understand how people don't believe in the art of perfection. It does exist. And if you guys don't think it exists, then you're doomed. What can I say? Because you guys don't want to perfect anything. The Netflix and chill attitude is a loser's attitude. No, nobody's perfect. Well, then your life's going to suck. What do you want me to say? There is a specific risk of infidelity tied to life stages, like a midlife crisis. Being culturally framed as a man's right. Wow, that's kind of brazen. To find himself again, often at your expense. Okay, so that's just another mockery there. That's another insulting form of toxic masculinity. Well, not the worst that we've seen in this series. These shows can go either way, extreme toxicity, but pretty mild. Obviously, cheating is going to be the worst on this list, but this is more along the lines of risk of cheating. It's very common in the Latino culture, but here we're talking about the French. Very similar, but not as intense. Not the worst that we've seen. These are problems. There's a lot longer lists than compared to this, but that brings me to my final verdict. France, absolutely. What do you want me to say? Oui. Go visit France. Go meet a French person. Because chances are they're passionate people. Of course, avoid all those red flags. Because there's so many more than those red flags, by the way. But what can I say? I haven't seen anything that is painfully a sign of a warning, painful warning signs. But I really do like the beginning. It's one of the best beginnings that we've ever seen, the starts to this show. Yes, I highly recommend France, a French person. Absolutely. What can I say? Just make sure that they are really, truly a work of art. And together you guys can combine to form your guys' own masterpiece. Who knows? Maybe your portrait will go into the Louvre one day. But with that said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Also, be sure to sign up for your free membership on my website. And best of luck on your quest for love. Much love, everybody.